What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you about Rivian. I'm going to go over some of the data points, technicals, what shorts are doing, what's been coming out from the company, and given all of that, where I see things going in the short term. Before I get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So starting off, it is currently down 2.31%. When it comes to today though, it's just a broader market sell-off, so not really anything to do with Rivian specifically, but nonetheless, it is getting dragged down as a result. And it looks like, based on the volume, big money isn't really buying this dip particularly. So 15.42 million shares being traded, 27 is the average, and we are currently in power hour. And even looking at the number of transactions, just the frequency is massively down. So once again, just shows that big money isn't necessarily getting in. As far as some of the data points, what they are saying, so looking at options activity right now, currently there is $3.56 million in calls being purchased versus 6.44 million in puts. So based on this information, it is clearly pointing to a little bit more of a downtrend. And as I mentioned on the technicals, at least, that $20.50 kind of point right here, so this S1 was a very critical support level that you really wanted to watch for, but unfortunately it did break that. So it is currently trading between this S2 and this S1. So 18.16 is the next point that you need to watch for. And like I said, this $20.50, once it breaks below that, it does turn to resistance. So again, that's kind of the range it most likely will continue to trade in. As far as looking on the actual chart though, it is lower percentile of the Bollinger Band, still trading between that 50 and 100-day moving average. So generally, I think the market is pointing to that Rivian, for whatever reason, external circumstances are going to be kind of pulling it down a little bit. If you do like, for instance, the Elliott wave, I'll give you guys a quick overview of that versus the kind of technicals I do. So if you are a fan of the Elliott wave, $22.70 was a very strong pivot. And if it did break that, which obviously we are right now, you can anticipate, at least in the short term, between $15.70 and $16.80. So kind of extreme in my opinion, but oddly enough, a lot of people do really like the Elliott wave. So once again, let me know your guys' thoughts. As far as analyst ratings, since I am on here, there wasn't a good update today, and that was done by Needham Chris Pierce, who only has a 25% success rating. So once again, take that with a grain of salt, and keep in mind as well, I am not a financial advisor, so you guys always do your own due diligence. But regardless, they gave a $31 price target, so that's kind of good. If you are looking for a lot of good compiled information such as this, so the technicals, analyst ratings, forecasts, take a look at Interactive Brokers. I have a link to them in the description below and also the comments for all of this to be completely free. So take advantage of that while you can. But moving on from that, so I kind of touched on this. If you are optimistic and bullish on Rivian, this is all the calls. So it has the strike prices, expiry dates. Based on this information alone for the end of next week, it looks like it is supposed to be between the $20 and $21 range. So not necessarily that much upside. So once again, take that how you see that. As far as some additional data points, starting off with what's been coming out from the company, unfortunately, nothing official. So no SEC filings, no press releases, nothing like that. They did give a update as far as this right here about the 2026 Rivian R2S. So still, I think, reiterating 2025, 2026, that's when deliveries are going to be starting. But I think this is going to be a pretty sweet deal, bigger picture. And once again, they did signal the fact that there is going to be a lot of demand for this. So in reality, like I said, and what I have been saying based on the Q1 and Q2 earnings, Rivian hit it out of the ballpark, or whatever phrase you want to call it. Rivian, yes, it's going through some short-term pains right now. So obviously it's gone up very fast. So the technicals and the broader market are pulling it down. But based on the last couple of earnings, I do feel that this is going to be a very solid competitor to Ford, to Tesla in the very near future. So once again, it's all about patience, right? When you are investing, you're not really caring so much about the short-term kind of stuff. I know a lot of my videos are oriented towards short-term. That's largely because of majority of people just care about the short term. Even though they say that they're investors, they always try and catch the bottom per se. So once again, just do you guys' own due diligence. But when it comes down to big money, like I mentioned, not necessarily getting in, these are all the transactions that did occur on the dark pool. Dark pool is very, very popular today. So these are all the transactions that did occur. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't like the dark pool because it's linked to shorting. So I'll give you guys a quick overview of that. And as I've said in the past, as a little disclaimer, I do not see Rivian as a squeeze. I'm just bringing this up as a benchmark. But short score is currently 60, utilization is 27. And just to put in perspective on how shorts are so ingrained in Rivian, right now there is $1.65 billion worth of shorts out there. So pretty significant. Currently, shorts are returning 19,000 shares, and the way I analyze this information, the fact that they are returning shares on a red day shows that they feel it's an overreaction. So, of course, I do kind of agree with them in my own sense. Like I said, technicals are pointing to it going down, the options are kind of pointing to it going down, but I do feel that just based on their fundamentals, like they shouldn't be going down 2%. So that's just my thoughts. But still, 12.25% of the free float is being shorted. 80.99 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow is just complete pennies, so it is 0.8%. And just be aware that this is a annual rate. So basically like half of a cent equivalently per day. So again, just let me know your guys' thoughts on that. As well, give yourself a shout out if you have been buying, selling, holding. What's your kind of take on Rivian in the comments below. And one final thing I just wanted to show you. So once again, like I mentioned, so technically you can focus on the Elliott wave, you can look at the technicals and many other things. But if you are one of those individuals that likes to look at reports and so forth, Morningstar just updated it, I believe 2 days ago on Tuesday, if I remember correctly. And it does show the fair market value for Rivian being $38.41. So pretty good stuff in that regard. Let me know you guys' thoughts on Rivian. Like I said, give yourself a shout out if you have been buying, selling, holding. What's your kind of take on Rivian? I did buy some at, I think, additionally $21, give or take, but I've been doing options. Options are a solid way that you can recoup some of your money or just make some additional cash as well. So of course, when it comes down to options, I typically like to just sell covered calls and as well sell some puts. That way you can kind of just collect some easy premiums essentially on a lot of good companies that you do like. So even outside Rivian, I like to do Lucid. Because when it comes down to options, you really want to try to find a stock that has high volatility, which Rivian definitely does have. And as I've signaled, even looking at a lot of the fib levels right here between any of these pivot points, they are very wide, insinuating there's a lot of volatility. So volatility is your friend when it comes down to options. So you could stand to make a pretty good amount of money based on this. So once again, let me know you guys' thoughts. And if you guys do options, do you guys do weeklies or monthlies? What's your kind of thoughts on all this? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. But one final thing, even though Rivian goes up, down, sideways, all over the place, take advantage of free promos, and that is with Moomoo. Link in the description below and also the comments. Sign up for a free account, throw $100 at it though, and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock could be valued up to $2,000, and you also get a $50 cash reward. So this is one of the best deals that you can get. This is only available to Americans, so just be aware of that. If you are Canadian, for instance, though, and Moomoo is actually heading to Canada, so you can actually sign up for their app to play around. All you need is your phone number. No other information is required, and by signing up you can enter to win some gift cards, whether it be Tim's, Amazon, things like that. And plus you don't get more Canadian than Tim's. So with that said, I appreciate you guys watching, and let's all make a lot of money on Rivian.